So let's move on to the next topic. I wanted to get that out the way because a lot of people asked me about it, and they were like, "Hey, how do you feel about this, and this?" It's like, all right, let me mute this real quick if you guys don't mind me, so I can kind of manage some of these comments on Facebook. I do see you Facebookers live and what have you. So let's move on to the next topic. Wanted to get that completely out of the way. Next topic, we have to discuss Miss Chelsea Handler. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know a lot about this woman. Often I am out of the loop on certain things. I know of the name. I can probably recognize her face. But to be completely honest, I don't know much about her. Okay? I don't know much about her. I know she's a person. That's about it. I don't know what she does or what it is, but I think she's had some shows hosting. Look, I don't know much about her. She said some interesting things regarding 50 Cent, and let me set the scene real quick. 50 Cent posted not too long ago, right, that he couldn't support Biden because he showed his picture of how, people in New York were going to be taxed like 62% or something like that. And he was like, hell nah. So, of course, that had people irate because you can't, even if he was joking, they figured, well, people listen to you, you have influence. You can't be going around saying anything because God forbid someone actually be a part of this entertainment culture and does not support Joe Biden. So let's listen to what it is this crazy lady had to say. Let's go right here.
50 Cent and his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah, what's going on between you? I saw your tweets and I go, wait, what's happening? Because you said he was your favorite ex-boyfriend, and then what does he do? He's supporting Trump?
He says he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes, which, by the way, isn't a plan of Joe Biden's. That's a lie. So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath.
Hold on, Apple, pause it real quick. We got to run that back. Hold on. We got to run that back because I want you to hear what this woman just said. Okay? I want you to hear what this woman just said. Let's back it up just a little bit. I want y'all to understand what this woman just said. Let me play it back one more time.
Be influencing an entire, and I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing.
Now, for those of you that can't see this, if you're listening to the audio after the fact, if you're listening to this after the fact, okay? You don't know who Chelsea Handler is. She white as hell. Okay? She's really white. She's not mixed. She's white. She's not black. She's white. Okay? White. There ain't nothing wrong with being white. I just want to put that in the perspective of what she just said. Now, was she joking? Yes and probably no. Okay? Maybe it was a little bit of both. Was she joking? Possibly. But I think it was a little bit of both. This woman just had the nerve to sit up here and say she had to remind this black man that he was black. And she can't be supporting Trump. Now look, of course I'm not a Trump supporter. I shouldn't even have to. Matter of fact, never mind. I just said that. If you think I am, can I say this on? I can't say that on Facebook. Facebook's banned me for saying this word. I can't get away with saying it on YouTube. You are a very dumb person, if that's what you think. Nonetheless, I don't consider people's voting habits to be a particular way or have to be more so a particular way. It may lean a certain way, but I don't think it has to be a particular way because you are a black person or a white person. Now, I've long documented, of course, the history of Black Americans. One of my great articles, long form write ups that I wrote. You can listen to this, so watch this or read this rather over at beinglibertarian.com, as well as some other platforms that it ended up on. And I talked about how if African Americans understood their history, they would be libertarians, right? Now, again, I'm not saying, and I actually make this clarification. You can vote whatever way that you can, or whatever your way you want. I don't think your voting is connected to your race, or should be, or has to be. Now, again, there may be a slant one way or the other on, like it's a trend, right? I don't ignore that most people that do tend to vote for the Democratic Party that are Black. That's not my opinion. That's just what it is. Now, I, again, wouldn't say that a person that decided to vote for a Republican or a Libertarian or not vote, I would not say that your Blackness is determined by that, right? I would never make that claim. What you're seeing more of 2020 is that these folks are saying the quiet parts out loud. They're saying the quiet parts out loud. And by the way, big shout out to ANCAP Gamer, who's doing some, he's over at Facebook Live doing some Facebook moderation. I needed that because we got Sheep City and holding down the fort over here at YouTube. Perfect. Okay, I got a lot of crazy people that follow me on Facebook. Nonetheless, they're saying the quiet parts out loud. That's just kind of how they're operating now, in which they are telling on themselves what it is that they truly believe in. Maybe it's an act of desperation. Maybe the election seems to be slipping away from the left, so they're just saying the whatever craziness that they want to say. But this woman just flat out up and said it, and with confidence, talking to another white man, by the way, and they sit here discussing this brother's voting habits, and she talking about, I had to remind him that he was Black. I'm gonna play it back one more time because, again, I want y'all to understand what was actually said.
And I had to remind him that he was a Black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook. So I haven't heard back from him yet, but I am willing to. Like,
I just want you to understand how crazy that is that this woman just said that just so easily. I had to remind him that he was Black. And because of that, you can't be supporting Donald Trump. Again, to have someone's Blackness like that tied to their voting, or their voting tied to their Blackness one way or the other, however you want to put it, that's kind of insane. But this is how I believe a lot of folks feel about, you saw that with Kanye, as people that were, let's say, even Herschel freaking Walker, man, where these are Black folks who dare to, let's say, criticize not even that. It's more of, okay, traditionally, they're not doing what the rest of the entertainers and the entertainment elite, they're not doing what they do, right? They're thinking about this from another perspective. And these fools have nerve to just sit up here and say, look, you can't be voting that way because you're Black. This is why I say that a lot of people that hold this belief, let's say white leftists that hold this belief, who claim to be anti-racist, who claim to be pro-Black, let's say that, Black Lives Matter, fist in the air, they don't understand how deep their racism, their own personal racism, lies. And that's maybe what they're doing here, is projecting when they claim so often that other people are racist. When you hold a position like that, it's a literal racist position by literal definition, as in you are saying that that person's attributes, that his traits have to be tied to his race. It is a textbook form of racism. Now, they can get away with it. They can get away with it Even though this is textbook racism, they can get away with that. But the way they look at black folks, and I don't think it's anything exclusive to black folks. We're just talking about this for the sake of this conversation, and this is what she was referring to. But they think that because your voting habits must be tied to your race, the way I see it, and the way they maybe don't see it, but it is, of course, what they're admitting, is that white folk can have that sort of liberation. White folk, according to them, they can, of course, vote in whatever way that they want to be, or whatever. What they can not vote, they can vote. And who the hell is going to say, well, you are a white person and you're not a real white person? Nobody claims that. When a white person does whatever it is that they do, it's not assumed that they are a fake white person. They can vote whatever way they are. But the minute you're a black person, you're a brother, and again, it may not be exclusive to blacks, but we're talking about them. Not going to apologize for that. You're expected to vote some kind of way by the people that would claim that they're not racist or to claim to be the anti-racist. White folks are like this group that can do whatever it is that they want to do, which is, again, I don't think whiteness should be tied to their voting habits as well, of course. But it's not assumed that they are a fake white person. It's not assumed that they are a fake white person in the event that you decide, hey, I'm going to vote this way or vote that way. These folks are racist as all hell, and they don't even understand it. They don't even understand it. They claim to be anti-racist. They gallivant, they protest, they march, they get on their soapboxes, they yell from the friggin' mountaintops with all of the megaphones that they have, claiming that they are not racist, claiming that they have what's in the best interest of the non-whites. And here we have Chelsea Handler being a literal racist and claiming that she had to remind someone that he was black. And because he's black, he can't support Trump.